Declaration of Kaylin M., last name redacted, an exhibit in support of the Flores Agreement. I, Kaylin M., declare under penalty of perjury that the following is true and correct to the best of my knowledge and recollection. My date of birth is December 19th, 2001, and I am 16 years old. My mother's name is name redacted. Her date of birth is December 3rd, 1979. My mother and I are from Honduras. We left our country because my mother's life had been threatened and she had been held up at gunpoint 3 times. We presented ourselves at the border about 8 days ago, June 21st, 2018. We were taken to the Customs and Border Patrol facility in McAllen, Texas, which we called the Icebox. The icebox was freezing and my mother and I were shivering the entire time. I was miserable from the cold. We were given food, but the food was frozen and not fit for consumption. It smelled so bad that we went hungry instead of eating it. My mother and I were hungry the entire time we were at the icebox. After about 1 day, my mother and I were taken to another facility known as the Doghouse, where we were held for 4 days. We were immediately separated at the doghouse and stayed separated the entire time. We were allowed to talk to each other only once for 10 minutes in the 4 days we were there. I was very frightened and depressed the entire time. I was scared of the guards and scared I would be deported without my mother. I did not know where she was. I am still depressed. I also have nightmares and a lot of anxiety because of the separation. The female guards yelled at me and the other girls a lot. They called us names and made fun of us. The female guards would not let us sleep and kicked us with their boots to keep us awake. They also called some of the girls filthy and told them not to throw anything on the floor the way they would at home in their country. The female guards made me and the other girls strip naked in front of them and leered at us before their showers. It was very uncomfortable and caused me a lot of anxiety. I am still fearful of the guards today because of my treatment at the dog pound. The guards were really angry all the time, and we tried to stay quiet and not attract their attention. The doghouse is even colder than the icebox, and I was shivering the entire time. I was so cold that I had severe pain in my leg. I did not tell the guards because they told us that if we said we were hurt, we would have to stay at the doghouse longer. The guards also would not allow us to keep the mylar blankets that people gave us when they were leaving because they said we were only allowed 1 blanket. We received no mattress pads. My leg hurt so bad from the cold that I hid one of the extra blankets so that I could wrap it around my leg. This made me very scared because the guards said they would punish us if we took extra blankets. The food at the doghouse was the same as at the ice house. It was frozen and smelled bad. I did not eat it, and I went hungry the entire time I was there. I did not have a toothpaste or a toothbrush the entire time I was at the doghouse. The bathrooms at the doghouse were dirty and disgusting. I was told to continue to use them and not to make the bathroom dirtier, even though the toilets were already overflowing. I was muddy and wet when I was apprehended, but I was not allowed to shower or change for 5 days. I was told that detainees were only allowed 1 shower the entire time they were at the facility. I was housed in dog cages and I was constantly moved. This made me fearful for my safety and makes me scared today whenever a guard tells me I have to move. After 4 days, we moved to another icebox where I was reunited with my mother. We stayed there for 1 day, but we were not given food or water the entire day. After 1 day, we were moved to another doghouse that was different than the first one. We stayed at this doghouse for 1 day and night. We were separated immediately when we arrived at the second doghouse. The second doghouse had the same gross food as the first, frozen sandwiches that smelled bad. Again, we did not eat much and went hungry the entire time. After the second doghouse, we were moved to the Dilley facility. There are no current plans for our release. I, Kaylin M., swear under penalty of perjury that the above declaration is true and complete to the best of my abilities. This declaration was provided in Spanish, a language in which I am fluent, and was read back to me in Spanish.